Welcome to PrinnyCast Roundtable. We're a casual weekly show where we talk about what we've been up to and all the various gaming and media-related stuff from over the last week. We're your hosts. I'm Chris, the music maker, fighting game aficionado, and anime junkie.
Hi, I'm Grover, and I love all things simulation, some MMOs, and some mobile games.
And Mike, I'm not sure. There seems to be a pile of ash here. I'm not sure if he exploded earlier, or...
Oh, no.
Did somebody not take out the trash? But in all seriousness, his computer went on the fritz, which is something I'm kind of worried about mine doing. Mine froze like twice this week, and my work computer...
It always sucks.
Yeah, my work computer was acting up today, too, so that was lovely. Lots of crappy things going on. Speaking of which, you've got some nice icy weather going on right now.
Yes, I do. There is ice storm-like conditions in Illinois right now. Lovely.
Yay. The excitement.
But at least we're not Boston.
Yeah, I guess we'll just go straight to you about what you've been up to this week, but I have a feeling this is going to be a really short segment this time.
Yeah, this time I have been writing, and I just haven't been feeling very good. I did have my wisdom tooth pulled out last week, so not a lot going on because of that. I'd say that I played Guild Wars 2, getting my next character to level 80 while working around with the path completion for the first character. Not playing it as much because, boy, it's just I'm starting to burn out a little bit, which is fine because I'm playing a lot of it. And I'm starting to spot a lot of elitism in the game and just some of the toxicity that you start to see at the higher levels. Some of the rules that I discovered for this game are silly. You're not allowed to offend people on the game. And I asked a moderator, what exactly does that mean? And they said it means exactly as it said. If you say something to somebody that's offensive or they could deem as offensive, you could be punished for it. I was just like, I can say anything. It could be deemed offensive. And they're like, you could be punished for that. I'm just like, are you serious? And they're like, well, that's the only fair way to do it. And if they truly think that listening to every little complaint and then deciding whether or not it was serious enough to get somebody in trouble, you could fart and somebody could be offended by it. Does that mean that you should be arrested?
I'm one of those type of people that think there is a lot of really offensive material out there that does not need to be. I mean, we've talked about it on the show before, how I think people who cuss too often are kind of destroying the own purpose of using curse words. I don't actually have problems with curse words. I am a prude, but I'm not that much of one. It's the overuse of it to the point that they've lost their meaning. And when you're offending somebody just for the sake of offending people like trolls do, I think that's sort of the same thing. However, like what you're talking about, when somebody can say something, even if they're done something and it's kind of a retaliatory sort of thing, you screwed me over something, so I'm going to say something offensive to you to try to get your goad for it. It's kind of like a he said, she said argument all of a sudden. And how do you take sides when everybody's saying something or doing something that could be construed as offensive? Does everybody get punished? I bet they don't.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, you've heard me talk about this game. I've got into it with people in this game. And at most, I got a 2-hour chat ban where I got kicked out of the game for 2 hours. I couldn't get back in.
That's not too bad. I mean,
that's not bad at all.
Now, if it's an extreme case where somebody's going around with a lot of really racist stuff, I could kind of see them being a little more heavy on people who do that. But little minor aggression type stuff, 2-hour ban at worst.
It's kind of silly. When I found out that when I could choose anything to be offensive, but that means that people can report you for something that you didn't even realize that you offended them. So that's just where it's like,
I think Rover's snowstorm might be affecting his internet a little bit because he's kind of sluzzing out on us.
Oh crap! It could be. Well, then I played Clash of Clans, and Clash of Clans is just the waiting game right now. I'm still the same level. It's just slowly but surely getting all the levels going. In another clan, we're doing wars. This is arguably one of the worst wars I've ever been in the clan, in any clan. I mean, we're getting our asses kicked. I got 1 star on both of my attacks. I couldn't get more. I tried to get into their base, but they just stopped me into the ground before I could do it. And there's really more to say about that. I mean, it was just those 2 games because most of the time I was just spent laying around on the ground. I mean, in my bed.
That too.
And that's it. What did you play?
It's actually the usual suspects: the Tynan and Infernal Legend on Congregate and Second Life, and just about all of those is just the most basic you can do. Tynan, I'm considering bumping up my activity on it a little bit because after the Valentine's and the Wednesday before that dropped so many gems, I had 2,500 gems, which is a serious lot of gems.
That's a lot of gems.
Last Thursday, every Thursday that they've got this day called Thursday, which timers for your upgrades, which is kind of like the Clash of Clans thing, they quarter the time on it. So it is always the best day to just save up a whole bunch of gems and then plow through those because it, uses gems to speed up, just like all those kind of Facebook games. And so, I spent 1,500 gems on Thursday, which is the most I've spent on anything on this game. Granted,
that's a lot.
Gems I earned in-game. I have never spent a penny on this game, though somebody spent money on it for me to get a character that was the only way to unlock the character. And it was one of those type of things that I'd done so much for the guild, I guess, that he thought he'd reward me by helping me get that character. But other than that, yeah, Maria, the healer. The only healer in the game so far. And I'm really surprised they have not introduced another character like that, because that made them money. I know it did.
Hell of money.
Because there was a lot of people that would have never thought twice of ever touching this game with money. They just played as is. And then that character came out and was such a game changer for a while. It's kind of gone down now, but a game changer for a while because she was the only healer, that everybody started pouring money into the game. And I was kind of one of those people that was trying to talk people out of it. You're just encouraging them to do this again. Don't give them the money for it. And
even I did it.
And the irony of it, when I created the Prinny account for the Prinny Place, he actually won her in the casino. For No Legends, kind of the same thing. I'm just going through the motions of doing what I need to do throughout the day. At the Second Life, I have done a little bit of the chair hunting stuff, but most of it was just sitting at Sploders to make a little bit of money. But the rampant amount of those people showing up at the last second to take all your money is just so commonplace. I automatically assume there's at least going to be one, because it's the only way for me not to get angry. And I'm getting to the point where I'm saying things a lot. So, yeah. But aside from those three things, everything else has been stuff I've been trying to get together for Prinny Plays. Besides that, I did start, as promised, the RPG Maker thing this week. And I've been uploading pretty much one every day. I've not planned up enough stuff for this. I thought it was like riding a bike. I figured it's only been 6 months. I was getting really good with the space opera thing, and nope, I have forgotten so much, and the scripting's making me go, duh, what? So,
how?
Running into a few problems, but I will get myself kind of back into it. And it did not help that I was doing a bunch of pixel art too for our portraits for the game, and lo and behold, I did a stupid thing and not double check my sizes, which is ironic since the last video that was uploaded was just talking about how it needed to be a 96 by 96 square. I made them half smaller than they were supposed to be. And, you do not stretch pixel art. It does not look.
No, you do not ever stretch pixel art.
So,
unless it's a vector.
On the plus side, though, all of the stuff that I have put together for the old game news stuff, that's going to work perfectly for our combat avatars. So I have a lot of that stuff pretty much good to go. It'll take me a short time to get that together, though I want to do a lot of custom spriting too, so we'll see how that turns out. RPG Maker is about the only other thing I've really put time in. I did play a little Brawlhalla because they had an update. I played a little more Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is still obnoxious, but it's a replacement to Counter-Strike, because Counter-Strike I'm a little burnout on. But all of that aside, I haven't really watched anything this week either. I finished up Once Upon a Time because it was the last of Season 4, and I think I'm probably going to get back into watching this season of The Walking Dead. I'm pretty sure it's completed by now. I haven't double-checked yet, but so I'll get myself caught up on that and probably Gotham, and then I'll go back to stuff like Arrow and Flash and catch up with those maybe.
I've got to admit something. I'm watching the first season of Walking Dead.
It's a pretty good show, especially for a zombie series.
It's all right. I like how they started off with 28 days later, where he wakes up in the hospital. You don't see the outbreak happening. You wake up in it.
It's got some really tense and famous moments in it. So
I got the other show. Still watch Helix. It's on tonight, actually. I never watch it live. I always watch it on demand, so I have to watch commercials.
Probably the best way to do it. People keep telling me that the commercials seem to get longer and longer and longer, but the shows are still like 42 to 44 minutes long. That has not changed in years. I think what it is most shows have changed their format, so most of the commercial breaks is at the first and the end. In the middle portion, they're spaced out further. So when you get toward the end of the show, when it's coming to the climax, there's like 3 commercial breaks before the credits.
Yeah, it's aggravating.
And I think that's why people are feeling like, So it's not like I disagree. It's just really the shows are the same size.
I wouldn't mind a 15-minute thing in the middle of this commercial, and then it finishes the damn rest of it. Just get it over with. Don't get to the last exciting part in the commercial.
Well, some of that is for tense purposes. They want to make you go, I have to wait till the commercial break.
What's even better is because you're really paying attention. You're really excited. Commercial advertising. Now you're really paying attention.
Yep, you're paying attention to those stupid commercials. Yep. So how much you want to bet those final few commercials are probably the most expensive time slots?
I bet they are. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
But meanwhile, not a lot of other TV right now. Still on Fairy Tale and Good Gravy. Guess who showed up in the episode that's coming up next? last. The butt jiggler gang's back.
Oh boy.
Yay. I just needed that. It's a love-hate relationship with Fairy Tail. And it's that way with One Piece, too. Because they're very similar shows in a lot of ways.
I haven't seen either of them, so.
And, I guess just some quick game news here. Well, for one thing, yet another fantastic Humble Bundle. I was kind of beating myself up for the Star Wars bundle I didn't get into, and now they're doing a Square Enix bundle.
Ooh.
Now, granted, there's no Final Fantasy stuff here so far. There's still a more games coming soon thing on here, but the latest Hitman, Supreme Commander 2, brand new Thief game, the Deus Ex that came out a while back, Kane and Lynch collection, the brand new Murdered Soul Suspect that just came out last year, and yeah, you can get everything I just mentioned for under $8. We're talking like $1 a game for really AAA title stuff.
Yeah, for games that usually cost you like $20 a piece.
Mm-hmm. Now, whether you think they're worth it or not is another. Project Cars has been again delayed to April 2nd. It was supposed to come out March 17th, so considering this was a game that was almost supposed to be just a little after launch of the PS4, but at the same time, it looks gorgeous. Every time I see a snapshot of this thing, if I was just glancing at like an angle, I would not know that these were not pictures from the real thing. So it's got some fantastic graphics. I'll give them that. I don't know about the rest of it yet. It's very Gran Turismo type stuff, so it's kind of up your alley.
Okay.
It's a tense moment. You can feel the drum roll.
What was that all about?
The Mike message. I thought maybe he was going to try to join us, but he's on his surface.
Oh.
Mike's on the surface of the moon. So yeah, Mike's doing some fixes on his computer. He should be back by next week. He's not going to let that computer go that long. He's got to play his WoW. He has to play his WoW. You don't understand. Meanwhile, Sony abandoned the Last Guardian trademark. This is that game from the creators of Ico or Eco, depending on which you prefer to call it. It was really promising way back when they announced it in 2009. It's been in like this development limbo for all of this time. The game was going to be taken from the PlayStation 3 and moved to the PlayStation 4 because it had gone so long. This is not the first time we've also heard this sort of stuff going on, so. But a lot of the team members have left the team, including Ueda himself, but they kept insisting that the game was in development. And now that they no longer have the U.S. trademark, it's kind of brought in some question of, well, is this game still happening or not? Of course, this could also mean that they're changing the name, though Last Guardian is a pretty good title for it, so I don't know.
Yes.
And Bethesda and people behind Skyrim interviewed some of the mods from the group Pure AI about one of the most impressive mods I have ever seen for Skyrim, and this is saying something. There's some amazing mods out there for Skyrim. This one's called Indorol, and it's almost like a completely different game. There is so much here that is just original material throughout. It is really impressive. We'll be playing the trailer here for a little while. And the last little bit of game news is really weird on so many levels. Final Fantasy made a fighting game called Dissidia way back in the day on the PSP. It was popular enough that they made a sequel, and despite the fact that I'm not at all a fan of the system that they used, it's still a really fascinating game simply because they brought all of these Final Fantasy characters, largely just the main villains and the main heroes, but some other characters too, especially for the update one, from Final Fantasy 1 all the way up to Final Fantasy 13. And I don't know how big of a hit it was over here. I don't see a lot of people talking about it or anything like that. Well, because of these mecha-style Gundam games and stuff that are super popular in the arcades over there, matter of fact, that J-Star's Victory that just recently got announced that it's coming to PS3, yay! Anyway, it runs on the same sort of engine, where it's this kind of fighting game, but it's almost like an arena game at the same time, which is sort of how Dissidia ran. Well, apparently they saw that, hey, these are really popular right now, so guess what? Square Enix is making an arcade game, and it is a fighting game. This is weird on several levels. Even if, they have done Dissidia before, it's still really weird. But anyway, it's going to have 3-on-3 battles, and the graphics look absolutely amazing. There's a lot of people begging for this to be put on some sort of console, and to be allowed to be online, but we'll see. That's most of the game news. I haven't really kept up on entertainment news this week, but I haven't also heard all of that much that was all that big. Oh, yeah, you guys may have noticed that there's 2 videos from Grover, and they're actually really old videos. They're
actually about 2 years old, and they're from the old account, from the account that's now defunct, the Earthbound ones. And it's Every time I look at the videos, like, if somebody wants to get me for emulation, you go ahead and get me, because those 2 videos, it is plainly obvious on the top of the screen that is emulated.
Mm-hmm. Well, you own a copy of the game, so it's not like...
I do own the copy of the games. All games I play, I own the copy of the games.
I don't see the problem with emulation, especially when you own the stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most of the recordings that I do when it comes to NES games are through the emulators, because to record it through one of those old RF adapters, are you kidding me?
Yeah, hell no.
People probably complain about the quality of our video on the channel as it is. Nobody plays those games through those things. You're not fooling me. So, matter of fact, I'm having problems with the Super Nintendo ones. Really heavy lag on fraps, so I have to use an alternate source, which works nice. It's just, I'd rather just click on fraps and be done with it instead of all the recompression and audio adjustments I have to do with the other system. But you do what you can do to make it work, which is why you haven't seen a lot of Genesis and Super Nintendo on the Prinny Plays. Those 2 do not like being recorded. I will find a way. Maybe I can go all ghetto and point a camcorder at the TV. Anyway, I guess that's our show for this week. It was kind of weird and short and topicless and everything else, but we're down a man. One of us had a wisdom tooth pulled, and the other one's had a really kind of dull, frumpy week. So it was just
tutorial week.
Yeah, at least I've been keeping busy. That's for sure. Plenty of stuff to do, and I'm glad I'm kicking those out as fast as I am. I'm just not sure if I'm going to be able to keep up with the 1 a day thing or not.
Oh, there's no way in hell.
Because it's going to get really complicated stuff, and I'm already struggling with what the heck I'm saying. I'm not used to trying to be intelligent when I speak and do something at the same time. I don't multitask like I used to. But we'll see you all next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
Later, dudes.